Everybody, this is Hondo Carpenter, your Las Vegas Raiders beat writer on SI, and this is our fellow Las Vegas Raiders beat writer on SI, the great Ezekiel Trezevant, and I'm the host of the Las Vegas Raiders Insider Podcast. We're coming to you from training camp. This is our second training camp report. Everything we saw, it's going to be a long one.
Yes.
Because we have seen a ton, and we're going to go back and forth, and I just want to tell you, I'm super excited. Starting when the season begins with the first preseason game.
Yes, sir.
He is going to host the morning podcast. He's always do a podcast in the morning before every game, and then one after the game. He's going to host that morning one. Maybe going to see him sneak it in on some Friday.
Yeah,
My God.
It's time. Let's go.
Let's go. That's right. Oh, I love it.
Yes,
now,
sir.
I told him before we started, I said, you have to get like a booster seat because I'm so much bigger than him. And when we're on split screens and he talks about being a defensive end, people are like, okay, maybe. Now you're like, no.
Yeah. Listen, let me tell you, if I had any hopes or dreams of playing in the NFL, when I stand next to those offensive linemen out there, it all comes crashing down in my head. So
tell them what you said to me on the first day.
It was the first day of camp, and so I'm walking over trying to find Hondo, and
where do you almost always find me?
Offensive line.
Right.
So I literally I can't quite see him at first, and I keep walking, and I realize I actually do see him. He's just blending in with the offensive lineman because he's almost as big as them without his cleats on. Let me add that in, guys. He's standing next to the offensive line. They got all their pants on.
Most of them.
Yeah, listen, Hondo is huge, guys. I'm not small. Hondo is huge. Okay, this is confirmed. All right.
Are you calling me fat?
No, just big, sizable offensive lineman.
Hey, I'm down to 227 now.
You look good. You look
Can
good.
You believe
Congratulations. Yes, sir.
Don't ever tell me I look good again, okay?
Leave it there.
Not that there's anything wrong with that Seinfeld episode. All right. They don't care about that.
No.
Let's get into camp. We have so much information that we want to give you today. I want to start with Geno. And Pete had a great comment. We literally just came off the practice field. In fact, if we look tired, it's because it's 100 degrees out there and we walk into this ice cold, beautiful closet.
Yes, it is a beautiful closet. He's not exaggerating.
Here at the Raiders headquarters. But I want to talk about Geno.
Yes, sir.
We laughed all off season when somebody, I don't know who, was saying, "Oh, there's a quarterback controversy," and we're like, okay, either somebody's hoping for one, which is fine,
right,
or somebody just wants clicks because it's a quarterback, or somebody's clueless. And you may remember, I've said this to these people, but I want you to confirm it. I walked into this press room one day to all of our colleagues and said, who's saying this?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, I think one of our colleagues says, nobody with a brain.
Yeah, nobody with a brain and nobody in this room. Nobody in this building.
And I'm telling you, there is nobody in this building.
Yeah.
From janitors to reporters to doctors to players to coaches to general managers to owners to FedEx delivery guys.
Literally.
There's nobody that's seen it. Now, that said, Pete Carroll talked today about Geno, and he made a great point when he said he's our Maxx Crosby on the offensive side. Again, different personality, but that balls to the wall, one way to play, leader. Listen, I'm not fooling myself. He's the 10th to 15th best quarterback in this league. But incredible intangibles as a leader, leads by example. There is no controversy, and his ball coming off his hands. Just your thoughts on Geno?
Yeah, Pop, and it pops in terms of what you see now. What I would also say is this in terms of Geno, it's consistency. Right now, we've only seen him for a little bit here, but I think the comparison that Pete was making in terms of Max specifically was not only the intensity, not only their leadership skills, but how dependable and how consistent Geno has been. Now, obviously, Pete has had a longer history with him, so he knows how dependable Geno is. But I think that was the comparison he was really trying to say is, hey, Geno brings it every day. He's consistent. Now, that's not to say he doesn't make mistakes. They're not some bad passes. There's some things that they're cleaning up. But in terms of the attitude and the mindset that he brings, it's consistent every day, and it's hard not to notice it.
Here is the hard thing for me, and you tell me if you disagree or not, but I want to talk fairly about every player.
Yeah.
And Aiden O'Connell has looked good. But when you say that, then that's where the buzz goes. There is no competition. He's looked good. Not perfect. Geno hasn't been perfect, but he's been close.
100%. And I would say in terms of the comparison between those two, Aiden and Geno, it's a quality starter and a quality backup. That's what I noticed. Right?
For right now.
Yeah, exactly. For right now, right? That's exactly.
Because there was a season, Geno was a quality backup.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
There's nothing wrong
And
with
you
that.
can mature into more.
100%.
I mean, there are a lot of people that when Peyton Manning was a rookie that called it a bust,
Yep.
that wanted him traded.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that Aiden's that.
Right.
I just don't think we've seen enough.
No. You need to see more, and he still needs to develop, right? We saw enough from the first 2 seasons that we know he needs to develop a little bit more, and we've seen that development from Aiden. He's made that progress, so it'll be exciting to see where he goes. But in terms of what Aiden brings to the team, a quality backup is one of the best things that you can have on a team. We know how easy a quarterback can go down or something expected happens, and you need a quality quarterback. I think all those games Aiden started is going to help him become even better of a quarterback when the Raiders need him.
Yeah. Now we're not going to get into everything we saw today because I'm going to have a very lengthy everything I saw camp report number 2, but we're going to really hit some highlights today. Look, as you know, I always like to spend a ton of time with the offensive linemen. Here's something that really stood out with me. Caleb Rogers, I really liked him in college. I really liked him. And during OTs and minicamp, I thought he was good.
Right.
But I didn't see any nasty, which you saw in college. Now, in fairness to him, there's no pads.
Right.
But saw some nasty Monday. Saw a little bit of nasty today. And I like that kid, Zeke. Yeah. I like him. I like his footwork. I like his handwork. And I like his attitude.
The potential and the upside is through the roof, right? I think he's just where the Raiders wanted him at in terms of knowing still needs development. But I think in terms of all rookies, and I think where he was specifically is sometimes those guys are just trying to figure out mentally what is going on. And then once they kind of figure out and put those things together, then the nasty comes out, then the physical side comes out. But in terms of what Caleb can bring, it's going to be exciting. He's going to add to that depth on the offensive line, which I think the Raiders are deeper at offensive line than most people realize.
And a lot deeper than where people realize. Okay, I want to make one other quick point before we keep going. We're going to do another pod talking about Christian Wilkins because this one's going to be long. But I'm going to have all the Christian Wilkins update. We're going to take you what's going on, what's happening, where does this look moving forward, all of it. Talk to NFL executives. I've talked to people in the Raiders building. I've talked to people on the NFL PA side. So we're going to have a big, thorough report. And you know the information on the report. I don't think now I've been at practice, but I don't think anybody's been reporting what we're about to tell them. And we'll do that in the next podcast. Let's talk about another kid that I really like is Delmar DJ Glaze, the mule. Yeah. That guy. And Pete talked about it. I mean, let me just make this point clear. Maxx Crosby is the best defensive player in the NFL.
Yes.
Folks, he made a play today where he was not offsides. I was standing there. Was I with you or was I with Harry Ruiz?
I think you might have been right next to Harry, but I know the player you're talking about. So he was not offside.
I'm standing next to Harry Ruiz, who's the Spanish voice of the Raiders play-by-play, who's a dear friend, love Harry, and he's also the Spanish voice of all the USC football. And he comes off the line of scrimmage. And I'm clearly thinking offsides. No penalty. And he jumps up and blocks. I mean, he looked like, I'm trying to think, Dominique Wilkins. I don't equate anybody to Michael Jordan, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
But he looked like, do you even know who Dominique is?
I do.
Being from the ATL?
Yes.
Okay. He's from the ATL. Anyways, he looked like Dominique Wilkins. He was so stretched up in the air and blocks the pass. And all Aiden did was
just shake his head. That's all you can do. And I also want to point out that there were referees there.
Yeah.
Right? So had Maxx been offsides, they would have called it. So they didn't. It was no exaggeration. I'll tell you this. I think Maxx he's teeing that up. He's going to pull that off in a game one day. I think he wants to pull it off a game, but specifically, I think Maxx I think he wants the touchdown on the other end of that. I think he wants to catch it. I think he wants to take it to the house. I think that's what Maxx is teeing up. But give it some time. He's on fire. Yeah.
And he is clearly the best player on the field, and it's not even close.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unbelievable, man, because he brings it all the time. It's been years. You think maybe today he's going to drop? No, Maxx brings it every time.
And so let's talk about Aiden, though. So he had a terrific opportunity to throw a strike in the end zone. Missed it.
Yes.
Just missed it. Now, in fairness to Aiden, it was a tight window, but he had every opportunity to throw a touchdown pass. Comes right back the next play and throws a strike. I mean, it was a great throw. It was as good as any throw Geno's made.
Yeah.
The problem is, this is what we mean when we're talking about the play. Geno, completely consistent. When Geno makes a bad play, you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Geno made a bad play.
Yeah.
And when Aiden does, it's like, Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just growth. And I had someone ask me at the 7-Eleven this morning, man, why are you hating on Aiden? I'm like, hating on Aiden? I'm the one saying I don't think we've seen enough to say he's not a starter.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the kid's got to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's throws like that. And this is the thing I love about Aiden. He's a man of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
He would tell you, yeah, I can't miss that throw.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 7.
Yeah.
And it's 7, and it's a really, really big deal. I want to talk to you about Laki Tasi.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is this big mountain of a human being. In fact, I'm a big human.
Yes.
I like to stand next to him because I enjoy the shade. Okay. And I'm a very large human. And you know what were we talking about? You know what the coaches think by who do they spend time with?
Exactly.
And they are working with this kid.
Yes, yes. They love him. They love his potential and his upside. Now, again, we go back to that word of development, right? We know they need to develop him over time. That's what they're going to do. And he's very versatile, right? In terms of his size that he brings, you would think that maybe he's a little bit more of a one-trick pony. But Pete Carroll and the coaching staff love him, and they're going to try different things with him this season. So keep an eye out for him for sure.
Okay, we're going to talk about a kid in his second year who I've talked about him through OTAs. I've talked to him through about minicamp.
Mhm.
He's a guy, you and I are both standing there, whose effort just shows up on film.
Yeah.
It shows up in practice. He had some catches today now. Whew. Alex Bachman, the
Yeah.
wide receiver. Everybody, every time I mention him, somebody will send me an email. Oh, stop.
So it's funny you say that because that's actually part of what I was going to point out. If you look at him, he's not necessarily the most
He
physically.
looks like an accountant. No offense.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
when he walks in, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, excuse me, the finance department's on the 3rd floor.
Right, and it's all fun and games until he starts carving you up on your defense. So yes, a lot of potential there, and I think he's going to play right into Chip Kelly's hands in terms of how versatile Chip Kelly is. I think when it comes to the offense, I think when it comes to the defense, you're not going to have a whole lot of big names, but I think the Raiders want it that way, right? They're going to win by what the team brings in totality. And I think Bachman is just going to be another example of that, right? There's multiple other people ahead of him on the depth chart, obviously, but there's still a place for him to succeed, and he's been bringing it in camp for sure.
Now, you guys know I'm a big believer in Dylan Parham. Love Dylan. I love Jordan Meredith. I mean, I'm an offensive line guy. Okay,
yeah.
I'm just going to say that.
Mm.
But Zeke pointed out before I could that Dylan was getting reps with the ones today at the left,
Yep.
where Jordan usually does. Now, no pads are on, so I wouldn't read anything into that other than the other guys were all at their starting positions. But it was good to see Dylan, and I thought Dylan had a very, very good day.
Dylan is locked in. You can tell. You can tell by the way he moves. You can tell by the way he looks. He's locked in. Obviously, the offensive line, they're still putting things together, but there was no missteps from what I saw from Dylan today. And you can tell. You can tell that he has his mind in the right place. Expect big things from Parham this year in the offensive line as a whole. In terms of Meredith, I like his versatility. I think he's going to help the Raiders out should they have any injuries anywhere else. And obviously, if he needs to become a starter, he's there as well.
Let's talk about Raheem Mostert.
Yeah.
So Zeke and I are standing there, and I'm going to have a lot more when my article is written about this. You guys are going to, don't miss that article. But Raheem Mostert, now remember, there's no pads. So the defense is going to look better because the offense can't block them.
Exactly.
And they did.
Mhm.
But he gets kind of not tackled, but a guy just reaches out and gets a hand on him, and the defender was off balance.
Yeah.
And it pushed Raheem off. He goes almost to the ground. This is how strong. Have you seen his arms? I mean, they look like my calves.
Yeah.
And he puts his hand on the ground, keeps his balance, and ran for like an 80-yard touchdown.
Raheem is tough, man. Raheem is tough, and something you see him and you see his stature, you're kind of like, oh, he's going to be, stocky, and no, he's got speed to him that you wouldn't expect. He's got agility that you may not expect as well, and then obviously that experience kicks in as well. Raheem is nice, and I think he's going to be a nice offset to what Ashton brings to the offense too.
Now listen, Zeke is from the ATL, but he spent time in Michigan. He went to Western Michigan University where he graduated. Let me just say something. We have a term in Michigan where you'll say that guy. He got something.
He's got something.
He got something.
He's got something. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's something, and it looks good.
I just kept thinking, and Miami let him go.
Yeah.
And he does not look injured to me. Does he look injured?
No. He looks ready to go, man. He looks like he's in shape. He's going to be nice.
All right, let's talk about another guy. And there are some things that we're not going to get into because it's about we're not going to give up any strategy that the Raiders are doing. It's part of us being professional writers. We don't do that. That's part of getting the access that we get. So if we are evasive on some things, you need to understand why. We're not trying to avoid anything. But one thing stood out to me is Jamal Adams and his speed. Now, this guy had a major injury, but Pete Carroll talked about him today, and he's going to play linebacker. He's going to play will linebacker now, and talked about his pass rushing with that speed. So I said to Pete, are you then looking at him, different position, but like a Charles Haley type, just designated pass rusher?
Yeah.
Or do you think he's a 3-down guy? And boy, he didn't hesitate, did he? Tell him what he said.
Yeah, Pete was basically like, hey, we're not putting him in a box, right? And I think that's going to be, again, it all plays to the versatility that the Raiders are going to bring this season. But I think he's going to be huge for the Raiders defense in terms of being down in the box, helping stop the run, and then obviously that speed is there as well. Huge addition, very underrated addition, if you ask me.
I want to talk about Ashton. So I was telling everybody the other day, Zeke, this is a guy who's a physical runner. So physical runners don't usually show up without pads.
Yeah.
It's just they don't. He does. So Zeke and I are standing there watching, and the Raiders, I'm trying to look at my notes here. So I think the Raiders were at their own, they were at their own 50. And he takes the ball, and I think it was Tyree, but whoever the defender was, and he jump cut him. Now, this is the third time I've talked about him doing a jump cut, where I don't need to run you over. I'm going to go around you.
Yeah.
And the defender's like, where'd he go?
Yeah.
And I mean, gone.
Out.
85-yard touchdown. And I mean, it was gone. I mean, I'm sorry. I always say rookies are rookies.
Yeah.
And he's made some rookie mistakes. We're not going to pretend he's Brock. But, Mr. Genty, no.
Man, change of pace, change of direction is unique, to say the least. A lot to be excited about. And like I told Hondo, I think it was a couple days ago, the wiggle that Genty brings, man, it's hard to really, put into words. But he's going to have a lot of defenders looking foolish this upcoming season because he's had moves and he has cuts that are just unique to him. So whether you're throwing the ball to him or whether he's taking it out of the backfield, Genty's going to open things up a lot.
And there's another term we use in Michigan. That boy can stop on a dime and give you 9 cents change.
Literally on a dime. Listen, just be excited about Ashton. I think he's got the goods as long as the offensive line is doing their thing and Chip Kelly's doing his thing. Listen, Ashton's in for a huge season.
Hang on a minute. I just realized I called him boy, and I have learned that is a term that's.
I think it serves. I think again, you're a little bit older,
but you're from Michigan.
Yeah,
I know.
But
you know me, but they don't.
Yeah,
that's not how I meant it. I mean,
yes, sir.
In Michigan, everyone's your boy.
Your boy.
So, anyways, I apologize if anyone got offended by that. I want to talk about a guy we've never talked about.
Okay.
Until today on the field.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Zeke and I are sitting there on the field today, and all of a sudden, one guy just kept showing up for effort. And he's a second-year player out of Baylor, but a new Raider, JT Woods, the safety. I was impressed.
Especially, in terms of how long he hasn't really been here, right, that long, and to have already had such a, pop so much in terms of practice. He stands out for sure, right? There's been a couple of plays where we said, well, who was that, right? And you had to go double check, and almost it was him more times than not. So excited to see where he goes.
That's a guy, I think it's fair to say, not going to make this team. Maybe make the practice squad. But effort like that, he's going to.
Exactly. Effort goes a long way.
And I don't think he's ready to be an NFL player right now. A 53-man roster player right now, at least based on what we've seen.
Yeah.
But what I will tell you is when you watch him, you can see
he can get there.
He can get there.
Yeah.
There's some guys you're like, some novenas,
right.
Send in a couple of offerings to some TV preachers in hope. And then there are guys you look at and you're like, oh, no.
Right.
I remember IPM. When IPM first got here, you're like, okay, not ready yet.
But he can get there.
He can get there. I'm telling you, I like me some JT Woods now.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about a guy who just looked like a stud. Adam Butler. Blocking passes, splitting. I mean, Adam Butler. And everyone knows he's a good buddy, and he is, and I love him. But, I mean, he looked like a beast.
Adam is dependable as well. That's another thing that I noticed, right? And in the guys in terms of the defense, there's a lot of younger players, especially on that on that line. But Adam's going to bring that consistency every time, and he looks like he's ready to go to an even a bigger step this upcoming season and build upon the great season that he had last year. So excited to see that.
I'm going to tell you something that stood out with me. Eric Stokes.
Listen, so Hondo and I haven't even talked about this at all. And Eric Stokes stood out to me as well.
Okay, so let me just say this. Stokes is the guy that his rookie year was fantastic with Green Bay. Was an all-pro player. An elite corner in this league, but gets injured. He's a guy I've talked to you people a lot about that Spytek goes out and gets him, doesn't overpay him. So if he doesn't work out, it's no loss to the Raiders. If he does work out, woo, Nelly, you done got yourself a good football player there and for cheap. Eric Stokes today, I mean, you go first.
Yeah, so I listen again. Hondo and I have not talked about this, but this is how much Stokes popped today, right? You can hear him. That was one thing that I was kind of shocked by. I was like, wait, that's Stokes. You can hear him, but then you can see the confidence too, right? It's only a couple days in, but you can see the confidence that he was just walking around with and carrying himself with. I'll take a little bit of what you said, and I'll take it a step further if you don't mind. We spoke a couple days ago, and you mentioned it just now. Hey, if Stokes works out, it's going to be great. I'll take it a step further. If Stokes works out, and Corey and Bennett can stay healthy, and those guys do their thing. Oh man, you go from hey, the cornerbacks might be the worst group on the team to hey, maybe not. And if you can solidify that cornerback position for the Raiders,
yeah,
it's going to be exciting.
I got some more guys I want to talk about, but let's go right to Elandon Roberts. I have said, and I maintain it, I think you agree with me. If you don't, feel free to disagree. But the biggest mistake and the only real mistake this team made in the offseason was not signing Spills.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we don't love Elandon.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you something. That young man, everybody now, y'all know I have a lot of connections with the Steelers. Steelers love him. But it was a matter of they just could not afford to pay him and pay everybody else. So the Raiders did the same thing. They went and got him, just like they went and got Spills. I'm going to be shocked if he's not a captain. I've said this all along. And he was out there today directing traffic. And there was one particular play where he saw something, informs Maxx, Maxx moves, and Maxx got what would have been a sack. And Maxx walks over and hugs him. And then Stokes makes that play, and he goes over and he runs. His leadership has been outstanding. And listen, his play's been good.
Yeah. But
when you get a guy who is a really solid player and a great leader, that's like you're underpaying him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not making this statement now. I'm going to reserve the right to watch after the first 4 games. But all indications are already they're underpaying Elandon Roberts.
Yeah, they got him on a good deal. And this is what I'll also say. There may not be that much of a drop-off between him and Spillane, right? We still have to wait and see. There's a lot of – we're very early in the process, right? But there might not be that much of a drop-off between those two. And there's also just so many different similarities between the two in terms of where Spill was, in terms of his career when he got that deal and then where Elandon is now. I'll also point out this. Pete Carroll raved about Elandon. I think that tells you in terms of what the coaching staff thinks about him. Now, again, time will tell, putting the pads on will tell, but you have to like what you've seen so far in terms of the leadership, in terms of the direction, and in terms of how close he is with his teammates.
So let's get to another guy, and Devin White. I mean, let's give Spytek some credit. How many of these guys have we said, wow, he went and got some injured guys that he thinks are healthy and on deals that if they're not, the Raiders get to walk away, but if they are, woo. How many times today did you look over and like, wow, Devin White?
Listen, Devin White has always been supremely talented. Now, obviously, he's a little bit in a different point of his career than, when he first came in.
Wait, stop. Are you calling Devin White old?
Listen, only because I remember Devin White, always been a stud, okay? Has always been a stud. I've been following him. Hondo knows. Don't get me started. Hondo knows. But yes, Devin, listen, pops, right? He's quick. He's got the speed. He's got the experience.
He looks 100% healthy.
Yes.
He looks like Devin White of old, not the Devin White of recent.
If he's the Devin White of old, I mean, a steal would be an understatement. It would be an understatement. And then you go back and look at Spytek's moves, and you have to give him even more credit for what he's done. So Devin is another player that, hey, if he hits, the Raiders are a lot further along than people may believe.
I think you and I talked about this on Tuesday on the podcast, but I believe if these guys hit And when I say these guys, I'm talking about Raheem,
Yeah.
Devin, Stokes.
Yeah.
I mean, Lonnie Johnson,
Yes.
big interception today.
Huge.
When you look at these guys,
Mhm.
if they hit
Mhm.
and the Raiders somehow get to 10 wins,
Mhm.
if Spytek doesn't get GM of the year,
Yeah.
it's a farce of an award.
I don't think people realize how thoroughly Spytek is taking care of this, right? And Hondo, to your point, you repeatedly spoken about what if they hit. I'll talk about what if they don't hit. If they don't hit, the Raiders still have young players that
Yep.
they get to develop, right? And it might not always be pretty, but now you're adding to the talent pool and you're adding even more development. So it's almost a win-win, right? Obviously, you want those guys to hit, you want those guys to be successful, but everything doesn't go your way in this league. So let's say they don't, the Raiders still have young players they can bring up.
So let's talk about the one bad pass that Geno had today.
Yes.
It was only one.
Yes.
And now you need to understand this in perspective because I know a lot of people take the material from our podcast and write off of
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Appreciate that. I appreciate you giving us credit, and most of you do. I just don't like those of you who lie and say we say things we didn't say. But anyways, one thing that stood out to me. So there's no pads on the offensive line. So your defense better look better
Yes.
the first 4 days of camp.
Mhm.
Now pads come on Monday, but your defense should look better. So when we say the defensive line owned it, that's true because there isn't it's still like OTAs and minicamp type atmosphere. But Geno was under tremendous pressure.
Yes.
He had Maxx, Adam Butler. I think Tyree was in on that, and Malcolm, I think.
Yeah.
And he made a very unadvisable pass. Lonnie Johnson, man, snagged it.
Listen, zoomed
And
in.
it was a great.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest with you. I did not believe, and I fully admit this. And next time I talk to him, I'm going to tell him. I didn't realize he had those kind of wheels.
Oh my goodness! Listen,
He looked like a wide receiver. He didn't look like a safety.
Listen, when Lonnie got the ball, man, he zoomed. He was gone. Like it was hard to believe.
He looked like
Yes.
that cartoon you kids play, Sonic.
Yes,
Sonic.
he literally he kind of looked like what?
I'm like, is that Trey Tucker?
Yeah.
Is that Dante? Oh no, that's
No,
Lonnie Johnson.
no exaggeration. I had to look at the roster number. I was like, wait, I had to double check. Like, is it? Yes, he's got the wheels.
All right, let's talk about Cam Miller.
Mhm.
As big of a gap as there is between Geno and Aiden,
Mhm.
there's as big of a gap between Aiden and Cam.
Yes.
So anybody, and there are enough Aiden haters, I'm doing Zeke. So just shut up. We're going to tell you what we believe. We put our name on it. Cam Miller, though, he doesn't look ready for the pros. That's a fact. And he shouldn't be.
Right.
Look where he's coming at, level of competition, whatever. But he's got some it. He's got some zip on that football. And I'm going to tell you something. Don't take the talk about Geno and Aiden as we're discrediting Cam. He belongs in this. He's got an arm.
100%.
And here's something that I noticed. And you and I were standing right next to each other, but we weren't talking at that point. We're taking notes. He doesn't repeat mistakes. You hear me say all the time, you want people who are fat, faithful, available, teachable.
Right.
I like the kid. There's no controversy.
Right. No.
Let me tell you, it ain't close.
Yeah.
If Geno went down tomorrow, Aiden is your QB1. But you can see what Tom Brady liked in him.
You can see the skills that he has, and you can also see how coachable he is. I noticed that there was one time he messed up on a play, and he didn't hang his head, right? He kept it moving. Chip came over and talked to him, chopped it up with him, let him know, hey, this is where you get better. But he took it all in stride, right? But like you said, right, still needs a ton of development. And there are levels to this, right? Geno is number one, Aiden is number two, and then you have Cam that you still have to work with. So it seems like the coaching staff has a very well thought out process in terms of who's where when it comes to the depth chart.
I want to talk about another kid, another tight end. And Kadri Ismail, or Kadir, excuse me. Kadri's his daddy. Sorry. I'm buddies with his daddy, so I actually met his dad yesterday, Monday.
It's fair.
Yeah. Kadir Ismail. So I mentioned on Monday, and I didn't know this, that he looked like he had some quarterback the way his vision is. And so his dad, who happened to be here, I didn't know that, came up to me and told me after I'd written it that, yes, my son has played quarterback.
Yes.
At Kadir Ismail, he's looked pretty good too, hasn't he?
Yes, looks good, looks great so far.
All right, I want to ask you about another tight end. They're not going to carry 5, but I like this kid, and he's just kind of doing some stuff. Carter Runyon. I mean,
Yeah.
you see a little something. You're like,
Look,
well, I could see him making the practice squad.
you can see him making the practice squad, and you can see Chip Kelly doing work with how many ever tight ends he wants to use. Chip actually, he said, "Hey, I've heard that they can use 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to find a way to use 4." So Chip has something in mind, man. The Raiders are deep at tight end, so yeah, they've got so many guys that are up and coming that you may not know their name, but you still need to keep an eye out for.
All right, I'm looking here, Zeke. We've been going over 30 minutes, so
Oh wow.
we're
Okay.
gonna this will be the last one, and
Yes,
then,
sir.
but we're gonna have a lot more for you. But I want to talk about um, Tyree Wilson, and he's taken a lot of grief
Yes.
that was completely unfair.
Mhm.
I reported the night they picked him. This is going to be like a red shirt.
Yeah.
The Raiders had 0 expectations that first year, and I got that from members of management.
Yep.
Hey, please don't. I'm trying to remember how his exact words. Exact words were, please make sure it's clear we have no expectations in year 1. It's like a red shirt year because he was so injured.
Yeah.
And the kid, because of Chandler Jones, had to play.
Yeah.
And fans were brutal to him.
Yes.
And I remember at one point, because I have a pretty good relationship with him, as you know, and I think you do too, but I walked up to him in the locker room at Allegiant Stadium, and he'd had a rough game.
Mm.
And I just said, hey, chin up.
Yeah.
And I said, you're not even supposed to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
And just ignore the noise. And I'll never forget what he said to me. It wasn't, yeah, fans don't know. He didn't attack the fans. This is what he said. Well, if you don't like the noise, give him a reason to change it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I love this kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love this kid.
Yeah.
And I already do. I mean, he's just a peach of a. Why do they tease me when I say that somebody is? I think you're a peach of a person.
Listen. That's an old school term.
I'm a G.
I get it.
I'm
I
a
get
G.
it.
Hey, I'm a G.
Yeah. So no,
Now
listen.
tell me what that means again. I know it means
Wait.
you're old when somebody calls you a G.
Oh, it's like an OG, right? It's like a sign of respect. You guys, I hope, though, right? Like it's a hey, you've done a lot of things in your life. Elder statesman, we're giving you that respect.
All right, Tyree's just a peach of him, but I'm telling you right now, he's playing out of his mind. So somebody asked him today about it. I don't remember who. Maybe it was Vinny Bonsignor, the late Las Vegas Review Journal, but about and boy did Pete light up. They're using him on the inside, which you may remember. After Josh McDaniels got fired, PG moved him to the inside.
Yeah.
Last year they didn't use him there a lot. This year you can tell PG and Rob Leonard have went to
Yes.
Pete and said, and Pete's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Use him or lose him.
Yes. Listen, he has the potential to play inside or outside. He's technically, statistically, according to Pro Football Focus, one of the most versatile defensive linemen in terms of where they lined Tyree up last year, numbers wise. So he's going to keep on doing that. He looks good, man. He looks like he's in shape. This is probably the best we've seen him so far, but he's got to go out there and do it. We saw him today working hand in hand with Maxx, kind of getting their technique down, but we expect Tyree to take the next step, man. He's been developing year after year after year, and I think the noise just motivates him, right? I think it doesn't bother him. I think it motivates him. And if you look closely enough, if you look hard enough, you'll see Tyree has been making that progress, whether or not it shows up on the stat sheet.
And I am going to just end with this. I had one of the players one time tell me, I didn't know what you meant when you called me a peach of a person. He goes, but my grandma told me that's so nice.
It's the ultimate compliment. Can't be mad at that. Grandma loves it.
He goes, so I figured you were all right if that's what Grandma said. I want to talk about 2 guys and then we'll be done.
Mhm.
Ian Thomas.
Yes.
That guy, I like him. What?
I like him too. But I think he's going to be he's going to surprise a lot of people. I think that's going to be one of the people on the offense that grows over time, and that Chip Kelly is kind of keeping in his back pocket. Go ahead, pay attention to Brock. Go ahead, pay attention to Michael. Obviously, for obvious reasons. But then Ian's right there as well, and Chip has the versatility to use him well.
All right. Lastly, I want to talk about 2 players. I'm going to pull up their thing here. I'm looking at my notes. I want to talk to you about Colin Johnson, the wide receiver, and I want to talk to you about Darnay Holmes, the corner. So they're going at it, and they were battling.
Mhm.
Battling. I'm not in any way implying that they broke NFL rules for
no.
training camp before pads. They were battling, and I'm going to tell you something. that young wide receiver, he's got a little bit of edge. He's got a chip on his shoulder.
He's got some fire to him, right? And you could hear it today at practice. You could see it when him and Darnay were going at it. And that's what they need, right, on the offensive side of the ball. And we also kind of talked about how deep they are, right, in terms of that wide receiver. And he just adds to it. So it was definitely cool to see that.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to head out here, but tomorrow we'll have a full article. I said we were going to do it today, but we're not. We're going to have a full article tomorrow on the Christian Wilkins. He's helping me write it as well, but we've got the scoop. We're going to explain to you what happens now. What's the thought process going forward? We've talked to people around the NFL. We've got a lot of information for you. So that's going to come out tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. The Christian article, which is going to be literally go in the weeds on the Christian, and that's a saying if you're from the country in Michigan. You're just going out into the sticks, and we're going to go dig and find information, but we're going to have all the information for Christian Wilkins because we want to make sure we have it all. But we're going to. It'll run tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Don't miss it. Also, don't forget to watch tonight. I mean, to read tonight. Everything we saw at camp. He interviewed, 5 people today. Yeah. He's going to have a ton of video. Nobody's covering camp like us. 100% free. SI.com/NFL/Trader. My guy, my partner, my co-beat writer, Ezekiel Trezevant.
See you guys soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.